pyramid. Yeah. It's going to be flying close by, Earthwise, by our planet.
Yeah, I reported on that yesterday, I believe. And it's the size of the pyramid. It's big. I reported that the other day on one of my news segments, and yeah, it's coming by, and it's close by, and like you said, hopefully it's not even a near miss, a big miss.
Well, remember that one time they said, "Oh, this one asteroid is not going to hit Earth, right? It's going to be thousands of miles between the Earth and the Moon. It's not going to hit." What happened? Mediterranean Sea. It splashed down.
Yeah, and it wasn't the size of the pyramid. I think it was much smaller, but these things are no joke. And some of them things are, I think that one's traveling at close to 200,000 miles an hour. Just think of the kinetic energy connected with that.
Yeah, it's like about 200 bombs that we dropped off in Japan during the end of World War II. It ended the war. It would take out, a big area, not just a city. But, what gets me is I kind of wish we were back in the Leave It to Beaver days, because we didn't have the technology to, even see these asteroids. We didn't know. The only time they saw one was when, one of the people in the observatory was looking, oh, there's an asteroid. They didn't even know how to calculate if it was going to hit Earth, or they didn't even keep track of it. Now it's like every other day an asteroid's coming by. We didn't know this one was going to be here. The bad part is if it comes out of another galaxy and comes into our solar system, because some of those ones like that comet is going to go past Earth here, in the near future. The speed of that sucker, it is way faster than anything in our solar system, our galaxy. And that is scary. And it's the size of it is like if you took 100 Earths and put them right next to each other. That's how long this comet is going to be.
Mm. Yeah, and from the research I've done from what NASA says and other astronomers and astrophysicists and other scientists, that when these objects are coming at us from the sun's side, they're very hard to spot until they're right on us. And even if we can spot them, it still doesn't, we don't have a protocol what to do. We don't have a plan.
We do. We certainly,
do we?
Yeah. You know what you do? You put your hands on the top of your head and you jump up and down and say, I'm dead.
I thought you were going to say that's when you go get your vitamin D.
No, a shot of bourbon, like about a quart of it.
And here's the thing. We've always had these things coming at us, I think, consistently, like we're seeing them now. It's just we have the technology that we're noticing them more. I think back in the 50s or any time period, we've still had just as many. We just didn't have the technology to see them or discover them. And today we're seeing a lot more of them. Okay, so we're at that level. So let's try to figure out how to deflect them or a better warning system or earlier warning system.
I don't know. What a warning, if it's big enough, a warning system, what good is that going to really do? But you know what? Yeah, seriously, that's what I just said. If we go back to Donna Reed era, the Donna Reed show, Leave It to Beaver, My Three Son generation, we didn't worry about that. We just worried about, other things. We didn't worry about an asteroid or a comet slamming in Earth. I mean, they're kind of a little bit nervous about this comet. It's, came into our solar system and is heading towards our planet. The size of it is like huge. Like I said, 100 Earths in length long. That is huge. Now, the tail of it, which is millions of miles long, is ice crystal, but it also the comet is attached to a lot of debris. The bad part is, since it came out of not our galaxy or solar system, it came from another one. It's traveling way faster than any of these asteroids or comets in the past. I mean, it's going like 4 or 5 times faster. So, I mean, that is scary. Now, again, when Mary Joyce was on, you remember what she said? If you go to the South Pole, you can actually see, supposedly the scientists and NASA knows about it, and they're watching planet supposedly X. is coming towards us, but you can't see it unless you're over by the South Pole because of the angle of the sun and all this stuff.
Yeah, I've did some research on that. That was the one that Stitchin called Nibiru or something like that. But it's supposedly
you kind of said it right, but yeah, just call it Planet X.
Yeah, Planet X. But anyway, it's got a real odd orbit. In other words, the orbit is so oblong, it's like every 3,600 years it gets close to the Earth. And that got me thinking, and I'm still in the middle of it, tracking back within a few hundred years of 3,600 years ago and see what kind of weird events happened on the Earth because, I'm all about patterns and repeating things. And anyway, that's one of the theories. And because it has that weird orbit, it's hard to see until it gets right up on us. And, supposedly it's getting close to that time.
Well, I guess according to Mary Joyce, from what she gathered from some officials, that it is, they've been monitoring it from the South Pole for quite a long time, and it's supposedly heading towards Earth. Now, it doesn't have to hit Earth to cause major damages. It could cause massive, waves that come washing over, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, halfway into the country. I mean, it could be Earth changes. We just don't know. I mean, let's face it. Something happened. Everybody was alive 3,600 years ago. Last time it came by, they're all dead.
Well, here's another.
That was a joke.
Factor.
You get it? A joke.
Yeah, I got it. There's Slim Shady. But anyway, here's another factor. When that gets close, it gets close to all these comets and other bodies, these astro bodies that are floating around asteroids. They can throw them out of orbit, and even if this Planet X isn't going to get us, it could put other objects out there toward us that normally wouldn't. And, there's millions of different space rocks floating around out there. All it takes is a big Planet X like that and that big gravity pull to throw it toward us or inch it toward us a little bit and put us in a line of fire, and that could be trouble.
Well, yeah, we can, it could be literally hundreds and hundreds or thousands of asteroids behind it, because it would pick it up and it would be, and who knows when it goes between Earth and the moon, that's the scary part. So I don't know. I mean, I that's what I don't like about technology, okay? Because now we're at the age where you have to worry about, child support. You have to worry about if you got a job tomorrow. You got to worry about the economy. You got to worry about, finding a wife or a husband. Now you got to worry about either Planet X, taking us out, or a comet coming by, at a super, super high speed, or an asteroid hitting us. Just imagine Friday if they miscalculate and that pyramid size hit New York. Well, what's going to happen? One, we're not going to have New York. Then you're going to have a massive wave come sweeping in also. So, I mean, just think about that. The speed of that asteroid, the size of the pyramid, if it hit Earth, how much damage it would do, and how much debris would be thrown up in the atmosphere to make a nuclear winter.
Oh, well, here's the other thing about all this. It would act also as a catalyst to maybe set off these super volcanoes around the world, and that's not good either. And another scenario, just look at the Shoemaker Levy 9 that hit Jupiter. That was real big, and a couple of them it broke up in 9 different parts, and some of them parts were as big as the Earth. Can you imagine something that big hit us? And people don't realize Jupiter actually acts as a safeguard for us because it gets a lot of stuff that if it wasn't there, it would hit us.
Look at the moon.
The moon, good one, right?
The moon protects us. A lot of asteroids hit the moon. Otherwise, it'd be nice and smooth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of craters on the moon for a reason.
That's true. Very true. There's a lot of craters on Earth. We just don't see them because of vegetation in the oceans. But look at that one what's it called, crater. It's a mile wide out there in Arizona. It's been, I forget when it hit, but it's just one that size could cause a lot of damage. And again, like you said, it depends where it hits. If one hit right in the middle of that national park out there in the Dakotas, and that activated the super volcano, we'd all be in trouble.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not towards the Dakotas. It's more between. How can I say it? You go from Washington, you go to Idaho, and then you go in Idaho, and there it is.
Right, and then it wouldn't take a real big one. Just the one that wouldn't. It would maybe cause damage, but not catastrophe. But if it hit in that right spot, and just that supervolcano alone could cause doom. So if you got something that hit that and activated it, open it up big enough. That would be because these things are coming in at 100, 200,000 miles an hour. That's a lot of kinetic energy.
Oh yeah, it's equal to like 200 nuclear bombs going off at one time. Think about that. That would be I'm not trying to do doom here tonight, but I mean it's just a lot of things. That's what I don't like about technology. I really sometimes wish I was like 16 again or 15 again. And, even younger than that and watching Leave It to Beaver. You know why? Because I didn't have to worry about this. The only thing I had to worry about the Soviet Union nuking the United States. But you know what? It's like every day you go on, especially now since you're doing the news. How often do you see comets? Not comets, asteroids that are coming near the planet. It's like every other day they're telling, hey, there's one. But, good. They've done their job. It's the one they don't tell us about is the one we got to worry about. The one that NASA doesn't tell us about because there's a reason why they're not telling us.
Or the ones they can't see because it's coming in from the sun's side, especially during the daytime. That's what happened to that one. There was one. It was a near miss. And that's the thing. I do a lot of research for these news stories that I do. Gary, there is so many between black holes and asteroids and comets. I got to double check, make sure they're not the same, and they're not.
No, so and it's funny. In the last 6 months, it went from one black hole to a whole bunch of black holes. They just they're finding them everywhere. And that's the scary part. I mean, this one black hole is it's like three of them or whatever it is right next to each other. And they're spitting out stars. You know how they're spitting out the stars? It's all the debris it goes into it. And then it creates, the mass. Think about it. It's scary. Now, we don't have just one black hole to worry about. There's a bunch of them. How do we know there isn't a black hole on the other side of the moon? And because our Earth is shifted, okay, we're on the other side of the solar system when the dinosaurs roamed. So that tells you how far we have moved. Okay, the sun, all these planets, we're on a constant move. We're not stationary. We're moving. No. We're moving at a real high speed. And people don't realize it. Think about right now if you're on the space, whatever you call it, right? Yeah, not the shuttle, the space station, right? And you go out there and you have to work on it, right? Well, you know what? It's stationary. You're stationary. You don't have any sense of, we just lost them 1:45. Every night that happens, except last night it didn't happen. But think about it. They have no sense of speed at all. Or movement. But if you look out there, you see things going, satellites whipping by, all this stuff whipping by. That is what's scary. So, you're on the space station, you're out there working on it, you don't see or feel any sense of motion or speed. That's what the whole thing is about. I mean, so if one of these things did come and hit the Earth, I don't know. It depends on the size. Like I said, the one that would be the size of a pyramid would do massive, massive damage to our planet. And if it certainly hit the middle of the country, it would take out a big section of our country. But, again, I really wish sometimes our technology wasn't so far advanced. Because you know what? The other issue is, yes, our technology's advanced. We know about some of these, not all of them. But at this point, we don't know what to do about it. We don't, if they sat there and experimented and try to take a little asteroid and nudge it just a little bit, right?